There is a room you are not in. Right now, tonight. A room where decisions are being made about money, about opportunity, about who rises and who stays exactly where they are. You are not invited. Not because you are not talented enough, not because you do not work hard enough, because nobody in that room knows you exist. That is the real problem. Not your skills, not your resume, not your background. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not a skills gap. It is a connections gap. It is a visibility gap. It is a trust gap. And the people already in that room understand something that most people spend their entire lives never figuring out. Power does not flow to the most deserving. Power flows to the most connected. Not the most talented, not the most educated, not the most hardworking. The most connected. In this video, I am going to give you 13 laws. Precise, ruthless, and completely practical laws for building real relationships with powerful people. Not networking tips, not small talk advice. Laws. The kind of structural principles that the most connected people in every elite circle have always operated by, whether they knew it consciously or not. Master these, and the room opens. Ignore them, and you will spend your entire career knocking on a door that never answers. Let us begin. Law 1. Become useful before you become close. This is the first law, and the most violated one. Most people approach powerful figures the wrong way. They lead with need. They ask for favors before they have earned the right to ask for anything. Here is the brutal truth about how powerful people think. They are surrounded by people who want things from them every single day. Every conversation is someone asking for time, for access, for opportunity, for advice, for money. The moment you approach from a position of need, you are invisible. You become just another person in a very long line. But the moment you bring a solution, everything changes. Do not ask what they can do for you. Show up with what you can do for them. Study their problems, identify their friction, then solve something quietly without asking for credit. That one act of genuine usefulness does more for your positioning than 100 meetings ever could. Rockefeller did not build his network by asking for favors. He built it by making himself indispensable, first to one person, then to 10, then to an empire. Useful people get invited back. Useful people get remembered. Useful people eventually get trusted. And trust is the currency of every elite circle on Earth. Law 2. Never reveal your full hand. Mystery is power. The moment people think they fully understand you, they stop being interested in you. Most people overshare. They explain their plans before executing them. They announce their ambitions before achieving them. They talk about what they are building before it is built. Every word you speak is information you surrender. The most powerful people in any room speak less and reveal less, not because they have nothing to say, because they understand that mystery creates gravity. When people cannot fully read you, they pay more attention to you. When people do not know everything about you, they become curious about you. When you leave things unsaid, you leave space for others to project power onto you. Keep your full strategy private. Let your results speak before your intentions do. A half-revealed plan is a plan that can be countered. A fully hidden plan is a plan that cannot be stopped. Law 3. Enter through the side door. Every powerful person has a front door. The front door is guarded. There is a queue. There are assistants and gatekeepers and protocols. Everyone is fighting for the same entrance. Stop fighting for the front door. The people who build the fastest connections with powerful figures never enter through the front. They enter through the side. Who are the people around the person you want to reach? Their assistant, their advisor, their inner circle, the people who have daily access. Build genuine relationships with those people first. Not to use them, not to manipulate them, but because those relationships are real and valuable on their own, and because the people inside always speak louder than any introduction ever could. The side door is not the back door. It is not a trick. It is an understanding that proximity creates opportunity, and proximity builds in all directions. Be the person who is already in the building when the opportunity arrives. Law 4. Mirror their world, not your own. Adaptability is one of the rarest and most valuable social skills on Earth. Most people walk into every room carrying their own world with them, their own priorities, their own language, their own energy, their own frame. And they wonder why powerful people seem disinterested. Here is what the socially intelligent understand. People are most comfortable with people who reflect their world back to them. This does not mean being fake. It means being genuinely curious about what matters to them, learning their language, understanding their priorities, matching their energy without losing your own identity. When you speak to a CEO, speak about strategy and outcomes. When you speak to a creative, speak about vision and possibilities. When you speak to an operator, speak about efficiency and execution. Same you, different fluency. The people who rise the fastest in every industry are not always the most talented in the room. They are the most adaptable. They can move between worlds without losing their core. That skill alone is worth more than most credentials. Law 5. Master selective availability. Scarcity creates value. This is a law of economics. It is also a law of social dynamics. The people who are always available, who respond instantly, who never say no, who make themselves accessible to everyone at all times, are not respected. They are taken for granted. The people who are strategically unavailable, who protect their time, who decline gracefully, who make access feel earned, are sought after. You do not need to be rude. You do not need to be difficult. You simply need to make your time feel like what it actually is, finite and valuable. When you say yes to everything, your yes means nothing. When you say no selectively, your yes becomes something people genuinely want. The most powerful figures in every elite circle have understood this for centuries. They do not chase, they attract. And the first step to attracting is making access feel like an achievement. Law 6. Speak less than necessary. Silence is a weapon most people refuse to pick up. In almost every social interaction, the person who speaks less holds more power. Think about the conversations you have been in. The person who fills every silence, who explains and qualifies and justifies, they are working hard, they are anxious, they are trying. The person who sits in silence, who asks one precise question and then listens completely, they seem in control, they seem dangerous, they seem worth impressing. When you speak less, two things happen. First, other people reveal more. Silence makes people uncomfortable. Uncomfortable people fill the space, and what they fill it with is information about themselves, about their priorities, about their vulnerabilities. Second, when you do speak, it carries more weight. Words from a quiet mouth land differently than words from a mouth that never stops. Practice speaking one sentence where you would normally speak 10. Watch what happens to the room. Law 7. Create mutual enemies. Nothing accelerates a bond faster than shared opposition. This is uncomfortable to say, but it is deeply true. Research on human bonding consistently shows that adversity creates stronger connections than shared pleasure. Two people who have fought the same battle together trust each other differently than two people who simply enjoyed the same dinner. You do not need to manufacture enemies. They already exist in every organization, every industry, every circle. Find the shared frustrations, the shared obstacles, the common opponents. When you can say, we are dealing with the same problem, you instantly move from stranger to ally. The most effective social climbers in history did not build their networks at parties. They built them in moments of shared resistance, in foxholes, in difficult rooms, in problems that required collaboration. Find the foxhole, enter it together. Law 8. Never outshine the master. This is one of the oldest and most consistently ignored laws of power. When you make people above you feel small, they remove you. It does not matter how talented you are. It does not matter how right you are. It does not matter how justified your excellence is. If the person above you feels diminished by your presence, you will be gone before you realize what happened. This is not fairness. This is human nature. The ego is fragile at every level of power, including at the very top. Make those above you feel like the source of your success. Give them the credit for your wins. Let them feel like your growth reflects their wisdom. This is not weakness. This is precision. You are not shrinking yourself permanently. You are protecting your position long enough to build something that no one can take. The time for full display comes after you have secured your seat at the table, not before. Law 9. Make others come to you. The most powerful social position is the one everyone else is orbiting. Not the one chasing others, not the one seeking access, the one that access seeks. This is a long game. It cannot be faked. It must be built. Build something genuinely excellent. Develop a skill or insight or perspective that is rare and valuable enough that the right people want to be near it. When you have done something that cannot be ignored, you stop needing introductions. People talk about what is valuable. They bring what is valuable to the attention of other valuable people. They share access to what they believe will make them look smart for having found it first. Become that thing. This is the law that makes all the other laws easier, because once people are coming to you, the dynamics of every relationship change. You are no longer hopping to get in the room. You are the reason the room forms. Law 10. Guard your reputation with your life. Reputation is not what you think of yourself. It is what the room thinks of you when you are not there. And that room is always talking. In every elite circle, information moves faster than most people realize. One careless moment can undo years of careful positioning. One broken word, one public mistake, one association with the wrong person or idea. The wealthy and powerful do not protect their reputation because they are vain. They protect it because they understand that reputation is leverage. A strong reputation opens doors before you arrive. A damaged reputation closes them before you can knock. Never compromise your word for short-term gain. Never let small dishonesty accumulate into a pattern. Never allow yourself to be associated with what you would not want defining you. Your reputation is the shadow that arrives in the room before you do. Make sure it is the shadow that makes people lean forward, not the one that makes them lean back. Law 11. Learn to use your enemies. Wasted hatred is wasted energy. Every person you consider an enemy is a person who knows you well enough to oppose you. That knowledge is valuable. The people who oppose you know your weaknesses better than your friends do. They are studying you. They are finding the cracks. And that analysis, as uncomfortable as it is some of the most accurate feedback you will ever receive. Use it. Let your opposition sharpen you. Let their criticism reveal the blind spots your supporters will never mention. And when it is strategically possible, convert them. A converted enemy becomes one of the most loyal and powerful allies you can have, because they knew your weaknesses and chose to align anyway, and because they send a signal to everyone watching that even your opposition eventually came around. Law 12. Appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. Nobody at the top of any industry got there by being generous out of obligation. This is not cynicism, this is clarity. When you ask a powerful person for something, you are competing against every other request they receive, and almost all of those requests appeal to emotion, to fairness, to loyalty, to the concept that they should help because it would be the right thing to do. Those requests are forgotten before the meeting ends. The requests that get acted on are the ones that answer one question: what is in this for me? Frame every ask around their interest. Show them what they gain. Demonstrate what you can do for them. Make the decision to help you the most self-interested decision they can make. Do not appeal to kindness. Kindness is a limited resource. Self-interest is inexhaustible. When your success becomes aligned with their success, you become someone they are genuinely motivated to help. Law 13. Think as you like, behave like others. This is the most dangerous law on this list, and the most necessary. You have unconventional views. You have beliefs and ideas that the people around you would not understand or accept. You are right to have them. You are wrong to broadcast them before you have the power to protect them. Every room has an ideology, a set of beliefs and behaviors that define who belongs and who does not. The people who violate that ideology before they have earned the right to do so get removed from the room. It does not matter how right you are. Timing matters more than truth in social dynamics. Build your position first. Accumulate the trust, the access, the influence. Let your track record speak so loudly that your unconventional perspective becomes interesting rather than threatening. The most transformative figures in history did not lead with everything they believed on day one. They built influence first, then they used that influence to shift the room. Think freely, always. Speak strategically, always. The room will eventually be yours to reshape, but only if you are still in it. The closing. You now have 13 laws. Not tips, not suggestions, laws. The kind of structural principles that separate the people who spend their careers on the outside of important rooms from the people who eventually run them. But I want to leave you with one final truth. These laws are not about manipulation. They are about awareness. Most people fail to build powerful connections not because they are not good enough, but because they are operating blind. They are bringing their own frame into every room and wondering why the room does not respond. Social intelligence is not deception. It is the ability to see clearly how human dynamics actually work and to act accordingly. The world rewards those who see it as it is, not as they wish it were, not as they were told it should be, as it actually is. Now you see it. What you do with that vision is entirely up to you.